Leonie Dawson refuses to be categorized. So much so that today we're going to be talking about something I really didn't think I would ever talk about, and that is going on a fast? Okay, now before we begin, I want to do an acknowledgement of country. I wish to recognise and honour the traditional and ongoing custodians of the land that I reside in, and that is Gubbi Gubbi country, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and future. And because we're all spread out over this beautiful world, I want to do the same for the traditional ongoing landowners of the land where you are as well, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So, my loves, now before we begin, I do want to give a trigger warning because I am going to be talking about kind of a diet, kind of an eating program, a little bit about weight loss in here. So if that's the kind of thing that triggers the absolute bejesus out of you, just ignore this episode and go on your merry way and have a miraculous day, okay? So, I want to begin talking about this as well, is that I had a lot of reservations talking about this stuff because for me, like diet culture and weight loss and fat phobia, clearly it's a part of our culture. And it's also not kind of the existence that I have. So for me, I have a really lovely relationship with myself and my body, and I'm not really critical about it because I just don't really see the point. And I also really feel like the body that I've been given is a gift. Like, what a sacred vessel it is for me to walk around on this planet and experience pleasure and experience all of life through. Like, it just feels like an enormous gift. And I know that that's not the experience for a lot of people, but I want to start there. So I'm not ever going to say like, oh, I'm doing this because I was miserable, and I, you know, needed to change what I am, because what I am's beautiful and miraculous and glorious, and I'm so lucky for it. And like I really wanted to make it clear that this decision was made in self-love, and also not buying into fat phobia or anything like that. And so I'll explain my reasons now. So first and foremost, I have hypermobility, which means that my bones dislocate really easily. And particularly in the last 5 months, I went for a walk and managed to dislocate my entire pelvic bowl, and also prolapse one of the discs in my back. Now, hypermobility isn't a condition that I can necessarily get rid of, but I know that having extra weight or like on those ligaments isn't helping that. So I've spent the last 5 months finding it pretty difficult to walk. And so I knew I needed to make a change. I need to be able to really strengthen my whole body up in order to provide more support to those beautiful and very floppy ligaments of mine. And secondly, I read the book COVID-19 by Dr. Michael Mosley, which was great because it just talked about the science and research behind it. And it was talking about how excess weight, especially like visceral fat around your belly, actually does increase your risk of not only contracting COVID, but having more severe implications from COVID. I have had some people say to me that research has been later disproved because I think it's more of a socio-economic effect. You know, correlation doesn't always equal causation, and I totally get that. Having said that, like I had what was likely swine flu back in 2016, I think it was. And it has pretty similar markers to what a lot of people are experiencing COVID as, in that it's not kind of a short term illness. It tends to kind of come back and rear its head over and over again. So I was really ill for about 6 months, so much so that afterwards we had to replace our bed because my side of the bed was absolutely yellow from fever sweats because I just sweated so much from the fevers from it. And I got tested for a whole bunch of shit, including lung cancer and tuberculosis, and doctors were completely befuzzled. And I was on a lot of antibiotics, and it was just a real process, and it was really challenging. And it was only afterwards, after I'd cleared it up, that my doctor said, look, we should have hospitalized you. And looking at your patterns of inflammation, our best guess is that it was swine flu. And the thing with swine flu that really, like, it kind of freaks me out about COVID is that, like, swine flu had 10% of the mortality rates that COVID has. So I am like, don't fucking want it. I just don't. And even if it's just as bad as swine flu, I don't fucking want it. Like, I cannot give up another 6 months of my life to being bedridden. I've already done it with swine flu. I already did it with hyperemesis gravidarum. Like, enough with being bedridden. Also, enough with me being fucking bedridden because I've fucking prolapsed a disc and dislocated my my hips just from walking. Just from walking. So, when I read that book, it was like I knew I had been looking for something to make a change, and I wanted to undergo some kind of body transformation to help it be best supportive, to live its best life, and to help me live my best life. And I was just looking for what the right thing would be. So after I read COVID, then I ended up reading the Fast800 by Dr. Mosley. So the Fast800 is a Mediterranean style diet, which is nutrient dense. It's wheat free, grain free, heaps and heaps of vegetables, and includes protein. You can do it if you're vegan or vegetarian. There are those options as well, but it does include meat and dairy if you want to partake in those. And basically it means for a short period of time you do eat 800 calories, but it's not any old fucking 800 calories. It's stuff that's super nutrient dense. In some ways it's kind of similar to keto, like similar-ish principles. But in all of the scientific research that's gone into this diet, one Mediterranean diet absolutely helps you to reduce your risk of a whole bunch of illnesses and kind of unhealthy conditions. And as does fasting and intermittent fasting, which is like the 5-2 diet, which is like 2 days a week you fast or only eat 800 calories on those 2 days a week. And there's a lot of people who do the 5-2 diet. It's also by Dr. Michael Mosley. It was kind of like the first one that he did. And there's people like, so Jimmy Kimmel and Hugh Jackman, they all kind of do the 5-2 diet. However, if you've got extra weight to lose, the research they discovered was that like doing 800 calories of really nutrient dense food for a while until you achieve your kind of your healthiest body weight actually created the best health outcomes. And the research showed as well, because of course, you know, we know that really rapid weight loss doesn't necessarily like can make your weight boomerang back up again. But in the research they did about this particular style of eating, people who have done like the Fast800 keep weight off and keep a healthier weight and keep healthier blood like all your blood markers and stuff like that for years and years afterwards. It kind of seems to rewire things in ways that the other one doesn't. So there's a bunch of conditions that it can help, including being pre-diabetic, having diabetes, dementia, and heart-related health, and even some people with autoimmune diseases find that fasting and the Mediterranean diet can really massively help with that. So obviously, I'm not a fucking expert on this shit. I just read a few books. I'm fascinated by it. I'm definitely not into arguing like about it. Like if it's not for you or you beg to differ, like I completely get it. Like just please don't bother spending like emailing me because they're not going to get to me. Like I love you and they're not going to be received by me. Like I'm not asking for feedback about this and I'm not even saying to you this is what you should do and this is what everybody should be doing. Like fuck no. This is something that I'm doing for me for right now and we'll see how it goes. And I'm only sharing about this because I kind of feel like I'm an experimenter in a lot of things, and I dive deep into things and get really obsessed and really passionate about it, and then I share about those things with people because that's totally part of my journey. Is I love to explore new things and then share about that part of my journey, and that's totally kind of like my soul's purpose in a lot of ways as well, is just to experience all parts of life really and then share what I learn as I go along. So again, you might be totally fucking groovy with where you're at, or you might have a totally different opinion about Dr. Mosley's research. Totally fine. I'm totally groovy with that. Like, you keep doing you, boo. Like, I'm so excited for you. And I don't really need to argue about it because 2020 is enough bullshit for me. Oh, I wanted to say as well, because people have asked me, is that if you're not, like if you don't have extra weight to lose, but you wanted to get healthier instead or work on, like if you've got an autoimmune disease or whatever, you can use Dr. Mosley's 5-2 diet instead, which is intermittent fasting 2 days a week. So he's got a book about that as well. So it's just called 5 dot dot 2 5-2 dot. So I wanted to share a little bit about how I felt doing it, and I guess in some ways as well, it's just useful for me to document this part of my journey so I can look back on it, in months' time or years' time, and remember how that felt like. And also, if you're going through, a big body change at the moment for you, maybe you will feel less alone by me sharing this. So for me, this is my first week of doing 800 calories a day, following the, very nutrient dense meal plan. I definitely, like the first day, I definitely felt like a cranky toddler. Just, when like toddlers just feel really uncomfortable in their bodies and they either need to sleep or they're hungry or whatever, and they just kind of thrash about. I definitely felt like my body was doing that, and I realized as well, like I have such a strong connection to emotional eating. I do. Like, food is fucking one of the greatest joys of my day. I fucking love it. And I absolutely use it to self-soothe as well. So it felt really uncomfortable for me to not have that option available to me. I mean, of course I had that option, but I didn't really. And what else? Um, yeah, like I just had to like really take notice, like, oh, I'm not feeling great here. And my husband kind of had to give me a pep talk because I made dinner, um, and I was really hungry by that point, and dinner was an absolute disaster. The rest of the food has been amazing, but it was just like this one night, and like conveniently forgotten that I actually don't like omelette, and then I made myself one of their omelets, like on their meal plans. I don't even know why I thought that would be fun, but I was not having fun, and so my husband said to me, "Honey, like, don't beat yourself up. Like, if you fall off the wagon here or it doesn't go perfectly, like." already today you've eaten way more vegetables than you would have otherwise. So like this is a massive win. You're just like all progress is good progress. So it's not about like failing. It's about just continuing to like climb back up off the horse when you've fallen off it. And that was really helpful and really useful for me to remember. For me as well, like I've had to kind of build in different sensory experiences for myself because I know that my body is kind of having this toddler, cranky toddler moment. And so I have to mother it like I would mother a cranky toddler. So on the first day, I gave myself I was so cranky and I just went and had a bath with a cup of tea instead. And that really helped a lot. I read a book in the bath. I just had to replace like the lovely sensations of food with a lovely sensation in my body otherwise, which is being in the bath. And then yesterday I gave myself a facial, which was really nice. Today I haven't really done anything, but I did finally manage to convince my husband to finish building my IKEA cabinet for me, which has been sitting in my office for 5 months now. So I feel like I'm looking at it as I'm talking this right now, and I'm so fucking in love. So I feel like that's my nice sensory experience for today. It's really funny. I also, um, when I decided to talk about it publicly, I had a few friends that said like, "Oh my God, I am starting on that exact same diet as well." Um, and then a couple other friends that were like, "Oh, that sounds exactly what I'm needing right now for where I'm at in my health journey. I'm going to do it with you." And so there's like four of us now, and we have like a group Facebook message, and we, um, you know, talk about recipes, talk about resources that are useful. We say when things are hard, we say when things are great. And it's just been useful for that extra level of accountability for me. For me, I'm also you can definitely use just the book. Like he's got the Fast 800 book that you can follow. It's got meals in there, and it's also got like the Fast 800 website has all of their recipes on there as well. For me though, I bought the online program that they do, and I think it was like £100 or something. I think it was like $150 Australian. And I bought that for a couple of reasons. One, because when I pay more for something, then I'm more inclined to value it. Um, and I felt like it would give me better accountability. And two, I like that it kind of pre-creates meal plans for you and then pre-creates like shopping lists and stuff like that, and then just gives you all the recipe cards because that's what I really like. And for years now, I've been using HelloFresh and Marley Spoon, which are those companies where you can buy like the meal kits and you cook it up. And that's how I became a decent cook was doing that because I didn't have to meal plan and I didn't have to shop for ingredients. So by making it that much easier for myself by doing the online program with the meal plans, it's been super helpful. It also means that I know for the rest of the week what I'm eating. And so I know what meals I'm going to look forward to next. And that kind of helps when I'm like, crabby as fuck. um, I've also bought two things that I thought may help me, and I don't know yet, so don't quote me on this. But I bought some ketone sticks, which you pee on, and it shows whether you are in ketosis or not. I don't even know if that's a fucking words. Basically, it's telling you if you have switched to burning sugar in your system to burning visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs. Like the stuff that shouldn't necessarily be there. So if you've got fatty liver or whatever, then that kind of visceral fat is what you end up burning once you're in ketosis. And so I thought that would be useful to like just as a motivational point for myself. And somebody on my Instagram feed was super lovely and recommended that I get a body composition scale as well. And I got it for like $30. on Amazon. Oh my God, don't scream at me for using Amazon. Please, please. Just being honest, I bought it on Amazon, all right. I think it was called like a Renfo, and basically it does more than just like your number scale. It kind of looks at your body composition as well, and that can keep you motivated because even if you don't lose weight, you still know that you're changing your actual body composition as well. Um, so let's talk about what I've eaten. So it's really weird, right? Because even though I'm only eating 800 calories a day, I'm definitely eating a lot more than I think I normally would. But then I absolutely unconscious eat as well. So I'm not really sure. But I absolutely know I've eaten way more vegetables than I would ever eat usually. And it's really quite filling. It feels very nutrient dense. I feel really good on it. And apart from the first day, which I was feeling really emotional, day two and day three have been pretty chill. So I'll see how it continues on. I thought it would be like really hard this whole week, and so I've kind of scheduled it out for me to be gentler with myself. But so far, so good. I do need to like have a think about how I'm going to pre-prep meals for breakfast, especially once my kids are back in school, because I want to make sure that like it just really easily integrates into our morning routine. Um, I thought I would share with you today like what I've eaten to give you like an example, like meal plan basically. So sweet potato and kale hash for breakfast. It was really big. I didn't end up finishing it, but it was very filling. Then morning tea, I started feeling hungry, so I just had some mixed salad leaves with a little bit of olive oil and balsamic vinegar over the top of it. For lunch, I had beef stir fry, which was a little bit of beef and a fuck ton of broccoli and capsicum and bok choy, with some tamari and cloves and cinnamon, and I think it was supposed to use like five spice or something on it, but I don't like aniseed shit, so I just swapped it out with like cayenne pepper and cloves and cinnamon. It was really quite warming and delicious. It had garlic and ginger in it. It was pretty tasty. Tonight I am planning to make a vegetarian lasagna, and instead of the lasagna having like the pasta sheets, because we like on this particular style of eating, you don't eat grains and wheat and that kind of stuff because it really quickly converts to sugar. So instead, I'm going to be cutting up eggplant really thin to use as a layering device instead. So I'll let you know how that goes. Also, I should say as well, like my husband and me have this long term rivalry now because I say lasagna and he says lasagna because he's a fancy posh person who didn't grow up in regional Australia. And I'm like, oh, I'll have a fucking slab of lasagna, yeah. And last night we were talking about it again because I mentioned I would make vegetarian lasagna tonight. And he said, I hope you haven't infected our children with the way that you speak. And he asked our children to say lasagna in his posh voice, and both of them said lasagna. And honestly, I was so proud. I was like, yes! That little bit of bogan in them. It's just stay proud, guys. Stay proud. So that's basically it. I can have like as much fucking salad leaves as I like. There isn't any snacks really involved. But because I didn't eat all my kale hash this morning because it was like way too much for me. I will probably have like one block of Lindt 90% dark chocolate tonight. And hot tip, I smeared a bit of peanut butter over the top and cracked a little bit of salt. I've got low blood pressure, not high blood pressure, so salt is fine for me. And it's pretty fucking delicious, I should say. It's pretty fucking delicious and it's quite rich. So I only wanted like one small block. And because I'm a sweet tooth, so I was like, I just have to build in for the fact I'm gonna fucking need that. Um, some other ways that I've been kind of tricking myself with on the snack front as well is one, I can have a big bowl of leafy greens, which I have been having as a snack. And also I drink soda water all the time because I just I feel fucking fancy on soda water. And I also have like like you can get those drinks that are zero sugar, not Pepsi Max or anything, but you can get like soda water with like a flavor added to it, that doesn't have any sugar. So I've been using those for my kind of my sweet tooth, even though they're not sweet and they don't have any sugar or any sweeteners in them whatsoever. And also, my husband's cousin who's doing the diet with me, um, she recommended like different like herbal flavored teas and stuff. So that's been really useful as well. If you're interested in like looking more into like the Fast 800, the Mediterranean diet, or the 5-2 diet, so there's the books by Dr. Michael Mosley, Fast 800, the 5-2 diet. I've gone all in, of course, and I've got the Fast 800 diet, the Fast 800 recipe book, and the Fast 800 health journal, which is pretty cute. There's also a really good documentary series on YouTube that Dr. Michael Mosley and his wife did. And his wife, Dr. Claire Bailey, co-writes a lot of his books as well. And it's something that's just started airing in the UK. It's kind of a terrible name, but whatever, it's fine. It's called Lose a Stone in 21 Days, and it's for anyone who has like they've got like 5 volunteers who have put on weight during lockdown in Britain, and then they go on this journey of like following the Mediterranean diet. And they also like get all of their blood tests measured, and one finds out she's pre-diabetic, and yeah, they kind of have a few different like health conditions that they're working with, and then they track those markers along there because it's not about just about losing excess weight, but it's also about like improving any like health conditions that you might have. So it's called Lose a Stone in 21 Days. You can watch it on YouTube. That's where I've been watching it, and it's really good quality because I can't get that particular channel. But it's on the YouTube. It's great. And he also, like Dr. Michael Mosley, he's really well known for all of his like documentaries, science documentaries and stuff like that. And he even did one about the benefits of fasting like years and years ago because he became pre-diabetic and kind of fasted himself back into wellness again, which is pretty amazing. And it's fascinating too because for me, like, there's so many like cultures and religions around the world that do have fasting built in. When we think about Ramadan in the Muslim tradition, we think about Lent in the Christian tradition. There's different kinds, like there's different levels of fasting built into religions and cultures. And it's kind of like, I think it's kind of there maybe for a reason for us to give our bodies a chance to reset. And I think, it's probably very natural as well to have natural fasting periods, like back in the old caveman days as well, when, there's the bounty of the harvest and then there's the fucking lean times. So that part really fascinates me. And then, of course, the spiritual traditions of fasting in order to kind of have more inward time, kind of closer to God, Great Spirit, the inner voice. And I've definitely noticed over the past few days, in some ways I kind of feel like I'm very internal. I've been very quiet. I'm not as like outwardly expressive as I usually would be. And I just feel like in some ways like I'm giving my chance a body to be quieter so I can kind of be a pilgrim in some kind of way. So there we go. What a journey. What an adventure I'm on. Look, at the end of the day, whether it doesn't really fucking matter what the number on the scale is. It's just getting my body back into a place where it's really happy and holding itself together well so it doesn't keep dislocating. um, and just continuing to turn up and do the right thing for me at each moment. Um, and, this may not be like the lifestyle I'll follow for months and months. It may just be one of those flash in the water things. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm turning up to make choices that are good and right for me, and that's going to look different for everybody at every point in time. Because this definitely wouldn't have been the right choice for me at other points. So, that's my sharing about that. I hope it's been useful for you if you're interested in that kind of thing. And if you're not, that's totally groovy too. And I just wanted to send you lots and lots of love and miraculous blessings and all that good stuff. All right, let's continue creating our best lives and our magical lives and keep making our magic happen. I'm sending you so much love.